Municipalities face a growing problem of massive clogs in the system caused by so-called disposable wipes. Wipes are marketed as flushable, but end up costing thousands of dollars to remove from the sewage system. A man in Midland thinks he has the answer. Mark Hamelin was looking for a more comfortable and eco-friendly solution to sandpaper like toilet paper. He joins us to talk about his invention, a tissue spray he calls TUTSWVET. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Wayne.
So what do you mean by tissue spray? How do you use it?
Well, quite simply, it's a mist that you spray onto your toilet paper. If you fold up a few squares, a couple quick sprays, and it turns the that dry feeling into almost an on-demand wet wipe sort of feeling. So it helps clean you up a little bit quicker and more comfortably.
How did you brainstorm this idea?
Not remarkably, it happened while I was on the toilet, but it was just one of those things where I was looking at how we could maybe make this a more comfortable experience, and I ended up kind of thinking about all the other ways that we clean things in our lives, and invariably, whether you're cleaning your glasses, or your car, or even brushing your teeth, where your mouth is already wet. And even then you go to the sink and use a bit more water. And it just kind of lended itself to, hey, let's moisten this up a little bit.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense since we do dishes that way, we do laundry that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't really think of many situations where we're using specifically dry paper to clean anything. And it kind of just went right from there. And I thought, if you can adapt this moisture to maybe have a few active botanicals to help heal you up if there's any cuts or abrasions, and then make it a little bit slippery and a little bit, thicker than water. Then it hangs it on the surface of the paper, and it has a nice, smooth, comfortable feeling. Pretty much with any paper that you try it with.
Yeah, doesn't it actually cause the paper to disintegrate, though?
Yeah, well, you'd think so, and there are some instances where if you get a little too much, or you're not. I don't know, depending on the type of paper, you might get the odd, tear through, but for the most part, it works remarkably well. There's specific tissues that I would say it's 100% with, and even one of the one-ply commercial tissues that you'd find in, say, a high school or an office setting, it actually works very well with those. So, if you give it a try, there's no reason that if the toilet paper looks like low quality, it won't have a high-quality effect.
What's in it?
What's in the formula?
Yeah, your spray, yeah.
Yeah, well, so it's a water-based spray. And there are a few other products kind of like this out there. And that's what gave me a feeling that there's a market for this. But none of them seem to be kind of based on my formula. And none of them seem to be water-based sprays. Mine's a water-based spray, which I like. It's thickened with a few food grade type materials. It's got a few active botanicals, like I'd mentioned, calendula, marshmallow, willow bark, and aloe for just some soothing and.
How does it feel then?
Honestly, if you get the right proportions of mist and tissue and just the right kind of technique, it actually feels a little bit like a powder turn if you're into big mountain skiing. So, if you know what I mean, it's just a smooth, comfortable. If you watch one of my videos on the website, that's how it finishes off, and I think it's quite apropos.
A lot of people like to buy more expensive type of bath tissue as an alternative to some of the rough paper that is out there. What did you learn about the type of toilet paper that is marketed as very soft?
Yeah, good question. When I started this, my goal was simple. Just maybe make toilet paper feel a bit better. And then as I got into it, there were some issues that crept up. That premium paper that everybody's talking about, I want soft paper. It turns out that actually is produced from the virgin tree pulp. So living tree fibers are needed for that super soft feeling. And to me, I say, well, how soft can a tree really be? Basically, to me, you're flushing away forests if you, when you buy those high-end premium type tissues. The trees are cut down specifically for use of toilet paper. So to me, it's not a very good use of resources. So I'd like to push the recycled side of things. But like you had mentioned in the introduction, That's where most people attribute that sandpaper type quality to.
Yeah, and the difference here, I guess, too, with your product as opposed to those so-called flushable wipes, is that it is just made out. It's just toilet paper that's going down the drain.
Yeah, it's your everyday tissue. So there's no risk of clogging or anything like that with your septic tank or sewage treatment infrastructure. And those flushable wipes, that's the other issue that crept up along the way. I started this project a while back, and then just in the last few years, in 2013, there was the Fatberg in the UK, which was a 15-ton congealed blob of wet wipe and grease. It took $1 million to remove it and about 6 weeks of road construction. So that was a huge impact in the UK. And then we're having reports of wet wipes floating up on beaches, so they've made the trip across the ocean. New York the New York Times reported that the city had spent over $15 million in the last 3 or 4 years removing with clogs. In Vancouver, they're changing some pumping stations out in and around the city. It just seems to be every few months you hear issue after issue pop up. Even just friends of mine, I've heard, oh yeah, we're cleaning out our septic tank, and the septic sucker guy had to leave a pile of these things on the side. He said he wouldn't take them away, et cetera, et cetera.
It's a big mess. Hey, Mark, thank you very much for speaking with us and telling us about your invention.
Taking the time, yeah. Beauty. Okay, take care, away.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Mark Hamelin is the inventor of TUTSWVET tissue spray he hopes people will use instead of flushable wipes. It's sold online and at retailers across the province.